Yo, everybody. Brandon here, host of the Devy Deep Dive podcast and creator of the Devy Dashboard. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to my channel. Today, I got a really exciting rookie profile film. We're going to talk about North Dakota State University wide receiver Christian Watson. I don't think there's any guy that's gotten more buzz post Senior Bowl than this guy. So I'm excited to bring you this film. This is the only film you're going to need to really take a look at Watson getting ready for your rookie drafts. We got an all 22 film breakdown for you, as well as Britt Sanders, one of the best analytical minds out there. He will be joining us, giving us his analytical profile. So between the two, you should have a really good idea if Christian Watson is a guy that you are going to target in your upcoming rookie draft. So, hey man, if this is your first time here, welcome. I got tons of these rookie profile films on this YouTube channel, so please hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Devy Deep Dive. And of course, if you want information on my Devy Dashboard, which is the ultimate Devy and C2C resource, I got my email address below. Hit me up via email and I will send you all of the information. And please leave a comment too, man. I love all the comments on these rookie profile films. Tell me if you think I'm right or if you think I'm out of my freaking mind, whatever. It doesn't matter because everyone's got their different point of view. So let's get right to it, man. Let's talk about Christian Watson. Like I said, man, this guy is a riser up boards. He just, everyone's excited after the Senior Bowl, seeing what he did there. But, you know, let's talk about his background and get into his production profile, man. So he was a 2017 graduate of high school. He was a two-star athlete coming out of high school and really only got one offer to North Dakota State University. So that is where he went. So he was redshirted his first year, but nonetheless, he is a 6'4" wide receiver, 211 pounds. He is a senior this year, and he will be 23 years old at the draft. So from receiving production, you can see here in 2021, he had a very solid year, 43 receptions, 800 yards, averaging 8.6 yards a carry with 7 TDs. Last year in 2020 with the COVID season, probably he would have had a much better season as well. But so he's been a productive receiver, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. This kid has been a productive receiver. So let's talk about his market share. Receiving market share, 35%. He was the primary target on this offense throughout the last 3 years. Receiving targets as well, 26.8%. Offensive yards at 14.9. They ran the ball a ton. When I was making this film, going through the play-by-play, man, there'd be 3 or 4 drives where they wouldn't pass the ball at all. They were a run-first team. But nonetheless, as far as receiving yards, I mean, Christian Watson was the guy. He was the guy that was the primary target, the primary playmaker on this field. So his production profile is pretty solid. Touchdowns, he had 12.3% of the touchdowns. The running backs really took the majority of the touchdowns. So some great PFF stats here. He had a completion percentage of 69.4, so it looks like he has sticky hands, but we're going to take a look here in his film shortly that he does have some issues, I think, deep, with the deep tracking ability, but nonetheless, solid receiver with solid hands. That's a good number at 69.4. The ADOT, which is the average depth of target, is 13.6, which is really solid, so that basically telling you that, on average, he was getting balls thrown to him over 10 yards, so he is a vertical threat, and we are going to see that on his film as well. His yards per reception, his yak per reception. What does he do with the ball after he's got the ball in his hands? He averaged 8 yards a carry afterwards. So you're going to see a lot of vertical plays with him catching the ball. There was a lot of space. The competition wasn't great. So, of course, he was a big physical receiver playing against probably not so great competition, and it shows in these stats. All right, from a snap standpoint, he primarily played in the X and Z receiver position. 83% he was out wide on either side, and you're going to see that again, too, on the film. So let's go, before we get into his strengths and weaknesses, let's go over to Britt and let's see what Britt thinks about his analytical profile.
All right, Brandon, let's go ahead and dive into Christian Watson's metric profile really quickly. I'm going to be holding him to a higher standard just because he's an FCS athlete. And I think that to be successful in the NFL, you really need to dominate in the FCS. Luckily for Christian Watson, he's got some good things going for him. He had a career high of 3.13 yards per team pass attempts, which is easily a 90th percentile or higher. He has a career average of 2.03 yards per attempt, pass attempt, which when you pair with his yards per route run, a career high of 4.33 and an average of 2.95, that blends really well together. And it kind of shows that he was a focal point of the Bison's offense from a receiving standpoint and a touchdown standpoint. He had a breakout age of 20, which was his second season, his sophomore season. He didn't hit an elite breakout, but he did hit the dominator of 20 or higher. He also came into the Senior Bowl with a BMI of 25.7, 6'4", 211, good size, kind of what you're looking for. The nice thing here is less about BMI, it doesn't matter as much, but the speed score is going to be really good for Christian Watson. I have him currently clocked at a 40 of 4.5. Now, with his height and his speed, it's going to give him a speed score, or his 40 time. It's going to give him a speed score of 107.69. I think that's conservative. I think it's realistic that he could break the 110 threshold. Really, with wide receiver, you're looking at anything over 95. But any bumps that Christian Watson can get, he's going to need to be successful in the NFL. Some concerns I have with Watson, his career dominator and weighted dominator aren't spectacular. If he was in an FBS school, I'd be happy and thrilled with a dominator rating of 35.17 a career and a weighted dominator of 35.28. But again, since he's at the FCS, I'm expecting more. I want 40, a dominator of 40 or higher for him. I just wasn't able to get there, unfortunately, largely because he only had 2 seasons of production. The 2020 season was kind of a null and void, and he hardly got on the field at all his freshman season. The biggest concern I have is his drop percentage of 13.33. Usually you want to see drops between 7 and 9 or below 7 to 9%. So given the fact that Christian Watson is going to be a day 3 draft capital, unless he blows up at the combine, the fact that he's still raw and needs some refinement, and the fact that we aren't 100% sure if he's going to get, and the fact that he also is going to have some drop issues gives me concern that he's going to be able to find a spot on a 53-man roster, which is what you want when you're looking at Flyers. He's going to need a dominant special team stud to be able to make it that 53-man roster team. And if he makes that team, we have a legit shot and the fairy tale is still alive. But until then, I'm hesitant. I think he's more practice squad bound than anything else. This combine should be able to help us quite a bit in the future. Overall, I think Christian Watson's probably more of a early 4th round draft capital than anything else. But as always, happy hunting.
Great stuff, Britt. Always bringing the heat from the analytical profile side. I love it. A lot of people are really into the numbers. As you guys know, I'm more of a film guy, but let's get right into his strengths and weaknesses. He brings the good size, speed, and length. I mean, like I said, it is height and his speed. I mean, he's a little on the thin side that we talked about there with his BMI, but nonetheless, he's got really long arms, and that length is going to help him. So if there's an NFL team out there that is really wanting a lengthy, taller receiver, this guy might fit the bill. He's a good blocker. At the Senior Bowl especially, he was getting high praise for engaging and blocking down the field and really showing some really good blocking ability. So again, that is a good thing when you're an NFL scout taking a look at Christian Watson. So he's going to be able to help you in that run game rather. So his versatility in running. We're going to see here shortly on the film, man, that the kid just gets the ball out of the backfield, not necessarily thinking that's going to be his primary role, and I don't see him excelling in that role at the NFL. But nonetheless, it just shows his athleticism, the fact that this team trusted him to hand him the ball off, around the edge, a lot of wide receiver screens, a lot of sweeps and stuff like that. And we're going to take a look at his yak ability here in a minute. All right, his weaknesses, his level of competition, man. I mean, it's a real concern. I'm not sure how many people, I didn't do a study on how many people, outside college football, all the games that we watch, really make it in the NFL and make an impact. But nonetheless, there are the diamonds in the rough out there. So you're going to have to make a decision after watching this film if this guy is going to be a diamond in the rough for you. But let's not lose sight of the fact, the lack of competition, there's a lot of things we're going to see on film with him creating separation and stuff. I mean, if he was playing in the SEC, not so sure the production and what we're going to be seeing here on the film would be the same. So we have to take that into context. All right, he's a raw route runner. I'm a big me and wide receivers, it's all about space creation. He creates space in here, but I'm looking for technique. I'm looking for defensive manipulation. Not seeing a ton of it, but we're going to go through that here in a minute. Inconsistent hands. I think his deep ball tracking ability is okay. It's not elite. And, for his size and speed, I think a lot of teams are going to be looking for him to be that vertical threat. And I'm not sure he's got the elite body control and athleticism, running at high speeds to track the ball and come down with it. But again, we are going to take a look at it. So without further ado, man, let's get to this All-22 film and let's see what he looks like on the field. Okay, welcome to the film room. Let's take this All-22 bird's eye view here of Christian Watson, and let's see what this kid is showing us on the field. Okay, you guys know the drill. If you've watched my previous film reviews, we're going to go right to it with his release and route running. Again, now the kid's bigger, 6'4", right? A little over 200 pounds. So we're going to be looking for technique. We're going to be looking for defensive manipulation. That's what the name of the game is, creating space, right? So let's take a look. We got some, again, it's up at the top of the screen here. Shows a nice, break. Doesn't really do much to manipulate him. Just, it's basically a stop route. Like to see him shed some tackle there, nonetheless. Really trying to just get close-up shots here for us to see the technique, to see what he does. A little head bob there, you're going to see here. Again, he's got off coverage. All right, what does he do to get this guy off platform? That's what we're looking for. He's got a little jab step there, a little stutter step. Didn't really get the guy off platform, but nonetheless, he had a lot of space to begin with. Couldn't pull in the catch. It was an incomplete pass. Okay, he's up here at the top of the screen. All right, top left corner. All right, let's see what he does. It's coming across the field. All right, comes across. All right, now, my thing with this play, right? What does he do to get this guy off platform, right? So if you're going to be a technician in the NFL and this guy's coming down on you, like he should be making a move at this moment to me to get that guy to hesitate or something, give him a stutter move or something. You just can't take a lazy route like that. The defender gets in the way of the catch on that particular route. Again, I want to see defensive manipulation. So I thought this was a good play. It takes a lot of steps to make the comeback route, the curl route, whatever you want to call it. All right. But creates this now. He had the space to begin with. Would have liked to have seen some like head bobs, some lower your shoulders, lower your head like you're really going vertical to sell the vertical route on this. But, takes a lot of steps to turn around, but nonetheless sheds the tackle nice, gets upfield, accelerates. Good play. There he is at the bottom of the screen. All right. Again, what is he doing to manipulate defenders? It's a little stutter step. He got the guy to go off platform here. All right. He gives him a little stutter step. Boom, right there. Okay. Got him to twist his hips. That's good. That's what we want. That's what you need to do in the NFL. You can't just run past people because they're going to run right next to you. All right. Showing you his ball tracking skills here, which we're going to talk about in a minute. All right. Has a tough time coming down with this pass. Don't think he's the most athletic guy when it comes to when he's in full speed down the field, being able to contort and go up and get. We're going to see that he has the ability a little bit, but on those long go routes, not sure he's got the ability to really track the ball well and make adjustments in the air. So here he is in the middle of the screen on the left part of the screen. Okay, and what is he doing to create space? All right, a little comeback route, whatever you want to call it. All right, a lot of steps when he makes the turn. Usually I see 2 or 3 when there's a comeback route. Okay, but he does like 3 or 4 little pitter-patter steps here when he comes back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes up and gets the ball. We're going to get another view here. High ball. Can't really knock him for that. But nonetheless, didn't really create a lot of space on that comeback route. That guy was in his hip pocket. Here he's with some press. Again, what's he going to do to manipulate this defense? It's just a simple go route. Okay, but he doesn't create a lot of space. So I don't know that, we talked about his speed earlier in the show, in the 4.4s or something like that. Some say he's in the 4.3s, and that's what is tantalizing about him. I'm not sure I'm seeing 4.3 or 4.42 speed on the field here. This was an errant ball, but at least he gives it a good whirl. Makes at least a diving effort. All right. So as far as a route running, I think he's okay, but again, you need to beat the best in the NFL, man. You have to be able to shake people, and you need to defensive manipulate defenders. It's just the bottom line. All right. So we are going to take a look at his ball skills and hands. All right. And like I said, he's got in the intermediate area and the short area. I think he's got some solid skill when it comes to that. All right. So here he's at the very top of the screen on the top, the left. All right, let's see what kind of shake. The little stutter step, turns inside, makes the nice grab, takes the contact. Nice play. We're going to see it from here. Goes across, makes a nice adjustment. The ball's like behind him. He knows he's going to get clobbered. Comes in with the ball. It's really good ball tracking, really good, exceptional concentration. Here's another one. He goes up and gets it. Knows he's going to get hammered. Comes down with the ball. So from a short area and an intermediate area, I think he's really good. Here's another nice play. Goes up and gets it. And again, on this particular play, all right, he was already slowing down. So he didn't have that speed. He wasn't running full speed trying to make an adjustment. Here he was slowing down. The ball's underthrown. He goes up with his tall, lengthy arms, his frame, and goes up and makes a hell of a catch right here. That's a fantastic play. Here's another shot of it. Okay, he goes up, bang, comes down with the ball. Good, excellent play. All the contact, still makes the play. All right, he's at the bottom of the screen here, bottom right, and he's going to do a little stutter step. And again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to when he's full speed. I think he struggles a little bit. Let's look at the route. What did he do? I would have liked to have seen a hesitation move, a double move here would have been great. Showed that he was going to maybe do a curl route, but it's a go route. and doesn't create a ton of separation. Again, you got to look at the competition and then the ball tracking skills. I'm going to take another look at it here. You know, he's open. That's open in the NFL. You got to make this catch. Just kind of bobbles it. Just can't bring it down. Let's take a look at his yak yards and speed. So, you know, here he is he's coming across the formation. All right. Here he is right up here, coming across the formation. Let's take a look at his yak ability. Everyone's all going gaga over his speed. I think he's got great inline speed, but I'm not seeing a ton of elusiveness. Yeah, as nice as this play is, it's showing the speed. He didn't have to really make anyone miss. He just ran in between everybody, and yeah, he's got some good speed. You know, I can't wait to see what he runs at the combine, and of course, no one's going to catch him in the end zone. All right, so here he's actually at the bottom of the screen. Okay, what's he do with the ball in his hand? I'd like to have seen him go outside here. Again, he doesn't do anything to manipulate this defender. It's just a simple, you know, curl route or whatever. And he runs into traffic instead of running away from it, but nonetheless shows some, you know, okay strength there. Here he is at the bottom of the screen. What's he going to do with this guy? He's going to get the ball here. All right, so on a go route, it looks like. All right, now this is just showing his speed. All right, again, I want to look at this route. I want to see, is he manipulating this defender? Just a little route there. He goes up. That's a slow down for the ball. The ball is there. We're going to get another look at it here. The damn goalpost is in the way, but nonetheless, can't come down with it. I think that was a really good defensive play. I think the guy got his hands up there, you know. So I give him an A+ for the ball tracking here, the way he had to, like, side, you know, he went backwards a couple times to get the ball. But if we go back to the play, where I'm looking at speed here, right? I would like to see a little bit more of an effort in trying to get this defender to bite. He bit for a second. You know, he got by him. Give him credit. He had to hold up for the ball. I get it. But again, against this competition, good effort. Very good effort. All right, so here he is. He got the reception. What's he do with the ball? This is a really nice play. Shows his elusiveness a little bit. Okay, in the open field. Shedded the tackle, which is nice. Nice cut. Makes that guy miss. So he's got some yak ability, but I don't see this being his calling card in the NFL. Usually tall guys like this are not the guys that are going to be, you know, handed the ball in the backfield like he was in college. Now, we want to see the yak ability, right? So this particular play, here he is right here, okay? He's in the middle of the field. It's another kind of like sweep, whatever you want to call it, all right? And let's look at his ability. I mean, he's got some ability, but again, I don't like how we kind of hesitated here. You know, he kind of slows down. Didn't really, you know, it would have been nice to have seen a cut where he went, you know, up in the middle of the field here, but instead he kind of slows down and just kind of falls down with the tackler. So again, he did this. Here's another play where they hand it to him. He's not going to do this, and I don't see him doing this in the NFL. But we want to look at his speed. Really nice speed there, getting around the corner. But he wouldn't get around that corner if he was playing in the NFL. Here's just another look at it. Nice shedding tackle, nice lean, shedding the contact. So one thing you guys know watching these films, man, physicality and athleticism, physicality. I want to see tough players. I want to see how they finish. I want to see, are they hard to tackle? That's what you have to have in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says. So it's something I look at wide receivers. So again, here we are. He's at the top of the screen. He's going to get the ball, get a little stutter step, not the best like route, but nonetheless, you know, kind of felt. I think we may have seen that play already. I think we may have done that one already, but you know, again, what's the contact? I want to see the contact at the end of the run, you know, shedding tackles, contact balance, physicality. That's what I'm looking for. Here he goes in motion again, going around. How does he finish the runs? We're going to get another view here. I want to see him finish the runs. I want to see him put a fucking hat on someone. I want to see him go down and tag somebody. That's what you have to do, man. You're playing with the best athletes in the world. You gotta, you know, runs too high into this garbage and just kind of falls down. So again, this is something I look at that probably most people don't, and I get it, but it's important to me. You know, again, he's getting the ball out of the flat here. Here he is right here, and I want to see him put a lick on someone. You know, run hard. You know, runs a little bit upright. Gets the ball. We're going to see another view here in a minute. Got to move those piles, man. I want to see some. Here he is. Here's another one. Just again, what does his physicality look like? He makes the catch. I want to see tackles shed. I want to see him dragging guys. Here's just another one again. He runs a little upright. I think that was from the play before, from the two plays. I think that's from this play. Pretty sure. Go back, just take one last look before we end this film grind. Yeah, I think it is. I think this is the other view where, he doesn't run low. He just kind of runs high and lets everyone tag him. He's going to get lit up in the NFL when it comes to that. So, all right, man, that is the film grind for, Christian Watson. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'm just trying to point out some of the nuances in his route running, the nuances in his game. You can't just look at highlight films and, go off the Twitter echo chamber of like he's going to be great. Like I just showed you, I'm going to show you here in a minute. He showed some really good stuff at the Senior Bowl, so we're going to take a look at that here in a second. But overall, this kid's a tough eval for me because, I can't just imagine a kid coming from a small school like this is going to end up being a day 2 draft pick. It just seems odd. It happens, but it's just so rare. So I hope you enjoyed the film grind, man, and got to a different kind of look at this kid's game than what you've seen before. All right, man, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that film grind. Love providing that for you guys so you can make your own decisions, like I said, as you head to your rookie draft. So, look, man, this kid's been a really tough eval for me, evaluation. I think that, again, watching his film that we just watched, he looks okay, nothing like elite in any way to me. But, again, after the Senior Bowl, he has just done a marvelous job of increasing his draft stock. You're watching here right now on this film, these are the routes and everything that I cut up from his practice. And you can see that the kid's got some wiggle when it comes to getting off the line of scrimmage. His route running is improving. So, his draft capital. Let's talk about his draft capital while you watch these clips here, right? I mean, basically what I'm thinking is this kid is a round 3, round 4, 5 round pick. There's some guys saying early day 2. I just don't see it. I think he's very raw. I think he needs the ability. I think what's going to happen is after all the elite talent is off the board on the NFL, the top 6 or 7 guys, I think it's a wide open slate, round 3, 4, and 5, where a team's going to have to make a decision. Do I want to go with a smaller, speedy guy like a Wan'Dale Robinson, Sky Moore, or do we want to get a taller guy who we think we can develop, who has shown the ability and has shown some maybe raw skills that we can develop into a taller, vertical, possession receiver? So, that's where I see him. So I think a team will take a shot at him only because I think the wide receiver, after, like I said, after the top guys are gone, they're going to have to make a decision. Now, as far as dynasty projection, I think he's going to be a wide receiver, 4 or 5 in our, overall dynasty ranks, and on a team itself, I think he's going to be no more than a wide receiver 3. I see tweets out there that this kid could be a wide receiver 1 and lead an NFL franchise. I don't know, man. I'm just not one of those guys who's buying into that. Coming from this level of competition, he's going to have to make huge strides in his game, I think, to go up against the best athletes in the world. Might get there. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to take some time. You think of guys like, Terrence Marshall, who didn't really work out. Bateman was kind of banged up a little bit, who struggled his first year. So I think this is a developmental guy. I think he could potentially be a wide receiver 3 on a team, and be a guy who can help contribute on the outside. Now, as far as his pro comps, given just his size and his weight and size, I mean, there's 2 guys that come to mind to me. It's T. Higgins, who's 6'4", 216. We just saw him play in the Super Bowl, and Cortland Sutton, who's 6'4", 215. So that's about the frame that this guy has. So from, a standpoint of what they look like, from him getting on the field, could he end up being a Cortland Sutton? Possibly. I think that's his ceiling. He ain't no T. Higgins in my mind. I don't care what he looks like at the Senior Bowl. I don't care, if he did, that would be one hell of a story. But for me, Cortland Sutton has been struggling really only because of the shitty quarterback play in Denver for the last 2 or 3 years. And he obviously had his ACL injury. But nonetheless, so that's where I think his pro comp is. But like I said, man, this kid's been a tough eval for me. I've got him in my Devy dashboard in my ranks just outside my top 10. I've got the smaller guys maybe inside of him only because I think that's where the NFL is leading towards, maybe going for the smaller, shiftier guys who can create space, get open, do some damage in the yak department. I think, again, Christian Watson is a nice receiver it's a great story. I wish him the best best of luck. Will I target him in the third round of my rookie drafts if he's still there and lands in a great spot? Absolutely. But he's not going to be a guy that I reach for based on the hype that's out there right now. So I hope you enjoyed the show, man. And like I said, enjoy this, this video to help you make your own decision. If whether or not you are going to draft Christian Watson in your upcoming rookie drafts. All right, hit that subscribe button, man, and thanks for watching.